It's both amazing and frustrating that you can walk into a music store today, there will be an entire wall of guitars, and somehow the one you want isn't up there. That's because usually we shop with our eyes just as much as we do with our ears. If you want to get a guitar or a bass, you want it to look the way you want it to look, just like you want it to sound the way you want it to sound. The only problem is that ordering a customized guitar is both expensive and it takes a long time to get it. Well, Fender is trying to address that concern with its new Mod Shop. Now you can go online, surf a website, pick the guitar style that you want, and it should be at your home within 6 weeks. We have arrived at Fender's Mod Shop online, and we see right away we've got 4 different options. We can build ourselves a Telecaster, a Stratocaster, a P-Bass, or a Jazz Bass. I gotta tell you, I'm really excited because I have had that conundrum where I've walked into the guitar store and they didn't have exactly what I wanted. And what you're gonna notice here is we're picking a lot of aesthetic options, okay? We're not talking about the radius of the fingerboard or the thickness of the neck itself. But really, we're just modifying the guitar so that it looks the way we want it. And then we do get a little bit of functional changes with the types of pickups that we can put on it. All right, so starting at the top with the precision bass, I am a right-handed player. On the body, I have been bouncing back and forth between the 3-color sunburst and the red. And I gotta be honest with you, I think I've gotta go with the candy apple red. So we're gonna move forward there. For the fingerboard option, I chose maple. I think it has more along the lines of the sound that I want. There are lots of demonstrations online that show you the difference between the maple and the rosewood under a number of different pickup configurations and whatnot. For the pick guard, I'm definitely going to go with the 4-ply tortoise shell. I just think it looks the best with this particular bass. For pickups, this was an easy decision with me. I'm going with the American Series P-Bass pickups, but if you want something a little bit more vintage, they've got Pure Vintage 58 and Pure Vintage 63 available, each with its own sound. So in terms of how the bass is going to sound, I think this is the most influence that you're going to be able to have over that. But then again, if you're looking at a Fender bass or guitar, you already have a pretty good idea for what the sound is going to come out like. Here, we don't get any choices for the tuning machine or the bridge, and again, the strings that come with it are just the strings that come with it. So I'm going to go ahead and place this order, and in about 30 days, I should have a guitar in my hands. All right, well, the day has finally come. I've been waiting for weeks to open this up, not because it took a long time to get it, actually showed up in about 3 weeks, but because I wanted to wait for a very special date. I've got a special guest coming in, more on that later. But here we go, first impressions of the bass now that it's arrived. I really like the case. It's a substantial case with a nice rubber grip, so that's cool. And, ooh, yeah, there she is. All right, looks just as I ordered it, with the candy red finish and the red tortoise shell pick guard. That looks great. Get this out of the way here. Nice little Fender strap comes with it. We also have a 1/4-inch patch cord. Looks like a nice polishing cloth in there as well. Enough about what's in there. Let's check out what's happening here. The weight is wonderful. It feels great. Everything's protected. The pickups, the pick guard. We've got some plastic to remove here, and then it's time to see how it feels. So now that I've had it out of the box for a little while and gotten a chance to play it a little bit, I gotta say it's a huge improvement over the basic Mexican-made Fender that I bought years ago. It sings, it resonates a lot better. It feels better as well. It just feels better put together. It's easy to slide up and down the fretboard. But I gotta tell you, I'm very much a studying amateur bass player. I play trumpet professionally, bass still learning. So to get this properly vetted, I decided to bring in a very special guest, a world-class bass player, to see just how good this thing is. In the house with me today is a world-class bassist. Damian Erskine just happens to call Portland, Oregon his home, and we were lucky enough to catch him in between tours so that he could give us his impressions of the Fender Mod Shop and the bass that they ended up sending us. Dude, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. So we took a second before we started recording to kind of look through the Mod Shop, see what the options there were, what options there weren't. And I just wanted to kind of get your impression of the whole system, what you think of it, who you think it's good for, and yeah, that whole drill.
I love the concept of it. The idea that you could just go onto a site and start looking at all the different colors, trying different pick guard configurations, and just selecting your options via that mod shop is pretty cool. There were some areas I wish there were some more options.
Like what? What would you like to have seen on there?
Well, one thing we mentioned was even some of the categories that were mentioned only really had one option. They just told you what you would be getting, like the tuners.
And the bridge, too,
and
I
the
think,
bridge
yeah.
as well, yeah. Although the tuners and the bridge are great. But if you're going to have them there, like we said, if you're going to show me it as an option, there should be some options.
Right, exactly.
The pickups, I thought the pickups didn't have that many options, but they were good options. You know, for the P bass and the J bass, they're probably the three most common options for those things. But the site seems to work pretty well, and it's a very cool idea. As far as who it's good for, I think it's good for anybody who isn't looking for a totally customized instrument,
Right.
but doesn't want to just go to Guitar Center and grab something off the wall. And
Exactly. It's so rare that you get exactly what you'd want, even with like a huge amount of selection up there.
right.
That's the way I see it.
This is a very well-made instrument. I checked out the curvature of the neck, and it was really well set up. The action is nice and low. Very playable, but not buzzy. You know,
Right.
somebody took their time setting it up.
Yeah, I was actually not certain that it was going to come strung, you know, and so I was pleased to see that it was strung up, and happy to hear that, you know, it was set up as well. Somebody actually took the time to do that. It's nice that they put a little extra effort into it, I think.
Yeah, it's wonderfully set up. It plays nicely. It's quiet, no hum.
Right, right. Yeah, I've noticed it was quiet as well. Well, will you do us a favor and play for us a little bit?
Yeah,
Show
sure.
us what you can do on that thing?
Intonation is pretty good. Oakland stroke. Yeah, it feels nice. I'm not a slapper, so.
Nice,
Yeah.
a little pleasure.
A little pleasure there. Yeah, I
Homegrown
can't slap though.
Portland.
I can't
That's
slap.
all right. How would you characterize the sound of a Fender bass? I mean, I know that you're not a Fender artist, but you know.
Fenders are, it's just the classic bass sound. It's not necessarily the most modern sound that you hear from a lot of guys these days, but I think that's okay.
Right.
I'm not super into a lot of the modern sounding instruments out there these days, and Fenders, you know, they're really workhorses. They're meant to get the job done, and the nicer Fenders also have the side benefit of feeling pretty good. Knowing that you can custom order something and it's going to come properly set up and feeling good. If I was to order a Fender, I'd probably do it through the mod shop.